my god, she went back up again. Did I listen to that earlier? Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today I am returning to the warning, and we are going to be diving on into Hell You Call a Dream. Let's just do this. This is catchy. This is catchy. Okay, voice-wise though, we're getting a fair bit of distortion. And it sounds like distortion that she's very deliberately choosing to use for the express purpose, it seems, to make it more intense, which, you know, makes sense. Usually you use distortion to add a kind of intensity to what you're singing, but let's just go back and track when she uses it. Alright, so already on the word by, we just had a little bit. Fairly clean, I'm not getting much extra noise off of it.
I've been invaded by the need to stay inside this cage. This way, running out of things to say.
It's almost like we're getting this this like even distortion. That one doesn't sound like it's coming from the vocal folds. I wasn't expecting it. Let's keep listening. I'll break down general tone as we get further in, but yeah, what a catchy song. And the music sounds super tight. Playing and singing, that is its own thing that you have to get good at, okay? We're gonna keep going.
And it's how you call a dream.
Oh, the bass sound though. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Oh, it's fat. Let's keep going.
My vision's blurry as the pain keeps crawling up my skin. The pressure's building and I'm on the verge of caving in. Ready enough for the kill. If this can't bring me to life, then what will suffering just for the thrill? I'm in too deep. Give me something to believe. And it's how you call a dream. Colliding every time. The chaos drives me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe. And it's how you call a dream. Eyes are open.
Okay, quick pause. There's actually two different kinds of brightness that we're getting in her singing in this chorus. Let's go back and I'll point them out. You can hear this pingy, this brightness, right? Typically that also comes from that, again, epiglottic fold curving over slightly, but now it's for the purpose of creating that additional resonating cavity. So we have more intensity with the beginning of the sound, sort of towards like your glottal stroke verging on the edge of glottal attack. We have some intensity, a little bit more attack on the beginning of the sound. The chaos, this k sound is a little bit interesting because you're building up air pressure even just to create that k. So whether this is assisting with the intensity that we're hearing in her sound, or whether it's just a side effect of having to sing this particular note on k, this is just one of the examples that I wanted to talk about in this chorus regarding a little bit more of an intense vocal delivery. Go a little further along to the word breathe. breathe. We have that brightness there, but notice it doesn't have as much of that intense onset. So earlier, it's probably coming from that k, but also we can generate more intensity at the vocal fold level depending on whether we've built up pressure. And then here we have breathe, but notice how it doesn't quite sound as direct from the beginning of the word, but we still have that brightness there. The reason why I like this is because it means that she's not gunning for extra intensity just to create a bright sound that dynamically makes sense with the rest of the chorus. It'd be super tempting if you're a beginner belter or you're trying to generate loud intensities to just want to create it at the vocal fold level and make it super duper intense by building up lots of subglottic pressure and having your vocal folds slam together as hard as they can. But as you progress more towards a sustainable belting technique, you do start to generate vocal habits which cultivate this more harmonically strengthened tone, not just from creating a lot of amplitude at the vocal fold level. So, there's those two parts, the vocal folds, and then what happens as that signal moves up through the vocal tract. And here, what I'm hearing is she doesn't have to absolutely gun it for her tone to have presence. Thank you for bearing with me. We're gonna keep going.
Drives me wild like an animal, just wanna breathe. And it's how you call a dream. Eyes are always open in the dark. I've been underwater right from the start. Rope is wearing.
Another indicator that she is not having to work as intensely as, say, perhaps someone who is brand new to singing might, in order to emulate her sound, is that she was very agile moving through that passage. But we're going to keep going.
Open in the dark. I've been underwater right from the start. Rope is wearing thin, can't take it anymore. And that's how you call a dream. Colliding every time. That chaos drives me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe. Maybe I wanna be what I feel.
I have to know. I'm thinking it's a... Oh, we're up in the 5th octave for sure. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I gotta go. I need to re-listen to that.
Maybe I wanna be.
Holy moly! Oh my goodness! All right. Yeah, you know how earlier we were talking about how as you get more advanced as a vocalist, usually you start to cultivate strategies that strengthen the harmonics above the fundamental and not just focus on generating power from at the vocal fold level. That is an F5. The higher you go, the more of an adjustment you usually have to make to facilitate belting higher. So in order for something to still sound like a belt up past a certain point, you are having to make those adjustments in order to strengthen the harmonics, but you cannot switch completely to head voice. Technique-wise, we usually call this mixing. So in our verses, we're hearing a lot of what we would associate with first register, mechanism 1. A lot of people call it chest voice, this first register. And then on things like breathe, we're hearing a little bit more of what we would call mixing, and this can be separated into sort of a chest mix, into a head mix. In studies that have looked at what muscles are active and how much of those muscles are active, as we start to ascend in pitch, the muscle that is associated with those first register tones, which we typically attribute to belting, tends to not be as engaged, and you do in fact have to work at being able to maintain TA or thyroarytenoid engagement the higher you go up in pitch. The desire to switch to second register happens a hell of a lot earlier than an F5. So it is the engagement of this TA muscle and the capacity to keep it engaged that gives us these tones the higher up we go. And the quality that we have associated with this, yes, she is absolutely mixing, but I'm almost leaning more towards it being like an extension of like that chest mix into head mix. Technique-wise, it suggests that she's very comfortable moving between sort of variations of mix into first register. But up around an F5, like those extra harmonics that you need to strengthen can kind of obscure exactly what might be happening muscularly. Like, I know some people whose head mix is absolutely like really, really piercing, and so it has this stronger quality. And then I know other people who their first register mix just like goes up and up and up and up and up, and they're able to manage that sort of like muscular engagement without it turning into tension, without trying to lift up a heavier sound quality and all that jazz. But my point is, there's even more that she is navigating muscularly in order for that to sound as free as it is. So managing her mix up there and then to come back out of it, this is not somebody's first time trying those notes up there, but it does indicate that work has been done. Honestly, she made it sound so easy, I didn't even realize it was up on an F5 until I checked. Goodness though. All right, let's finish this out. Oh my god, she went back up again! Did I listen to that earlier? Oh my god. The adjusting thing, guys, the comfort, the movement, the ease. Huh. Okay, that was sick. Not only do we have a banger of a song, but you have some really, really competent vocalists going on there. I did hear some of the backing vocals, but I was like primarily just honed in on our soloist here. I'm tempted to call her Danny, but I don't want to give somebody a shortened version of their name just because it is the Australian way to shorten everything. Now, I remember listening to Choke. I would not have guessed that there was an extension like this kind of belt that she used in this one. It's a mixed belt, but it is connected and sounds seamless as she returns back to her setup for the chorus, which is kind of hard to do. Like even if you have access to a mixed belt that is higher, being able to move in and out of it, that flexibility, again, the capacity to adjust is just really nice to hear. Like from a vocal sustainability perspective, it's flippin' sick to be able to hear when somebody has mobility throughout their range. It's not enough just to be able to create the pitch or the tone on one note. It's the mobility, the dynamic capacity to shift in and out of it in other ways that really makes a voice sound more sustainable, at least from a coaching hat perspective. That sounds really, really cool to me. We've got range, we've got intensity. It was super locked into the lyric. I believed her as a performer. These are all really important things that you would want from a lead vocalist. And the music was tight. Like, what more what more could you ask for? On the one hand, you've got the intensity and distortion and the darkness and all of that kind of stuff. But then on the other hand, there's something actually so sweet about her tone as well. So I almost feel like those qualities, they have to negotiate sometimes with, okay, we want it to sound intense. Okay, but here maybe I needed a little bit more flexibility. All right, well then the natural sweeter tone might come through. Here I wanted a little dark. Okay, we'll retract the tongue a bit and modify the sound that way. Like all these tiny little decisions, it'll never be like a conscious thing. This will just be like aiming for a sound or aiming for an emotion or aiming for this kind of experience that you want people to have with your music. It's when I'm breaking these things down, this is just from a voice analysis perspective. Artists can't afford to be thinking about all of those tiny little things when they're actually on stage. But overall, this was a super clean performance. Like even little moments where you can hear pitch-wise, it's like not bang on. I actually really like that because it feels so authentic, and it's a really important part of the live experience. Live singing is so rarely absolutely perfect unless it's like one song, but like a whole show, your voice will gradually be able to recreate exactly how you want it to sound, but it's not going to sound the same as the studio. I mean, this sounds kind of close actually. If I'm recalling the studio version of Choke, it still sounded pretty clean there, but here you can hear those little moments which let you know, oh, this is a live performance. It feels real, it feels authentic, it makes you connect a little more to the vocal quality. I like hearing those things. But yeah, absolutely solid with this one. Thank you for the suggestion. This popped up a lot in my return video as something that I should listen to, so much appreciated to those who suggested it. Anyways, that is where I'm going to leave this one today. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give it a like, click the subscribe button and the bell notification beside it for more just like this one. As usual, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are staying healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye! The higher you go, when the back of the tongue is sort of pushing back as they can, but it is that seamless transition regardless. And F5 is flipping high.